Good morning, Sean D. Myers with another video. This video is about authorized user trade lines, also secure credit cards and credit repair in general. Um, so the authorized user portion is something that I now have access to. I'm an authorized user trade line broker, so daily I have a refreshing list of available authorized user trade lines that can be um, sold to you, added to your credit report temporarily to boost your score for 2 3 months, and that would give you enough time to get approved for new accounts and so forth because you pretty much add in lengthy credit history to your credit report. And this authorized user trade lines can be, you can ask a family member, friend to do the exact same thing for you, but um, the dangers of authorized user trade lines is that, say, family member, friend add you to their account, and their account's been open for years, and they make one late payment or something. Now that late payment that reported to your credit report, or that's on their account, pretty much will report to your credit report as a late payment as well. But the difference with authorized user and co-signing for accounts, with co-signing, you're pretty much both are the primary account holder for that specific account. So if anyone make a late payment, it'll be on both credit reports. But with authorized user, if something like that happens, you have no liability for that account because you're just an authorized user. So if a situation like that does happen, you can easily call that bank institution and remove your name from that account, automatically wiping that entire account from your credit report because it will be permanently removed from your credit report. So that's a benefit to authorized users versus co-signing and joint accounts and so forth. But the way authorized user trade lines come in handy is because from a credit scoring standpoint, 35% of your credit score is payment history, which is pretty much the percentage of on-time payments that you've made throughout your entire credit history. So student loan payments, credit card payments, the minimum balances, personal installment loans, and the list goes on and on. Anything that reports on a revolving basis or have reported to your credit report a payment status will be listed in your credit report, and that information does not go anywhere unless an account was deleted from your credit report, and in that case that entire account history will be deleted as well. But with that being said, there's people that they made some late payments throughout their credit history, and then every time you make a late payment, that knocks your payment history percentage down. So if you made 100 on-time payments and then you've missed 25, there's technically knocking 25% off of your payment history, and then you had a 75% payment history. And any payment history under like 90, technically speaking, on 95% or 99%, you may not get approved for account because um, a credit score to a lender financial institution is pretty much a scoring, kind of like accountability tool to prove your responsibility, to prove how much of a risk that you would be potentially to them, getting their money back or their investment into you back. So the higher payment percentage history is, the more likely you will be to be approved for whatever kind of account that you are applying for at that moment in time. Car loan, credit card, whatever the case may be. The higher your credit score, the higher payment percentage, payment history percentage, the more likely that you will get approved for that account, based on the simple fact that you're not a risk. They don't look at you as a risk of getting their money back. So how authorized users come in place. Say for example, you have some late payments and your uh, payment history took a hit. It could be 50, 60%. Um, Adding a lengthy account to your credit report with the high available balance, say $5,000 or $6,000 plus, with 10 years backdated history, that basically would get applied to your account. So whatever your payment history is, however many years that authorized user account was open, you want to times every year by 12. So you have 12 payments in every year. So if it's a 10-year account, you add 120 on-time payments to your credit report. So whatever your payment history was at the time, once that post, you should automatically be in 100% or pretty much close to it. Also, if you have maxed out credit card or so forth, say $2,000-3,000, you had a high authorized user trade line, and my authorized user trade lines go from anywhere from 4,000 to 35,000 plus, depending on what you're trying to get accomplished. So doing so, adding whatever trade line balance or trade line account balance is applied to your account, that will automatically boost your credit utilization rate ratio. So the 35% is for your payment history, and then there's another 30% of your credit score is just for credit utilization rate, which is out of the credit cards you have open, what is your current available balance percentage? Um, and the rule of thumb is everyone says you should be under 30%. So if you have $1,000 credit card, you should technically use no more than 300 of that before the reporting date. And then with that being said, um, say if you do use the card, max it out. With every credit card account, there is a reporting date. So um, you want to make whatever payment that you have towards that account, whatever balance you want to show, you want to make sure you pay that before the reporting date, not the date that the minimum payment is due, because there's two different dates. The minimum payment due date is just the day that this is the minimum payment that creditor will take to report your account as being on time payment wise. Your credit reporting date is when the actual financial institution report that um, current balance, whatever state it's into your credit report. So there's two big differences. So authorized user trade lines pretty much kill two birds in one stone. One, you are adding a high available balance to your credit report, which will offset whatever um, credit balances that you currently have open. So if you have a maxed out $2,000 credit line, and you add $10,000 trade line, you would be technically using like 2,000 minus 10,000. So that's eight. You'll be using only $2,000 out of $12,000, which is well under 30% utilization. So it's like a numbers game. So with the trade line thing, it's kind of calculated. So basically look at your credit score, see what your balance is, and see what kind of trade line would be more beneficial, balance or so forth would be more beneficial to be added to your credit report. And of course, with authorized user trade lines with this kind of information, it is pretty costly, because in credit repair it's a credit repair is kind of like a slow process. It's a constant negotiation with 30 to 45 day back and forth paper trail to um, eventually get those negative accounts deleted from your credit report. But as you have negative accounts removed, that payment history with those accounts are also removed. So you have to find a way to build credit history again. Your credit score goes up with credit repair, but it also um, takes away credit history if you had an account that was open for a long time. So trade line is one of those things that can pretty much patch that up to automatically boost your score in a high range, because you've added a lengthy credit history to your credit report, and utilization rate is boom. So ending this video, I'm almost at the 10-minute mark. Part 2 is coming. See you in the next video. Failures Fiction, Sean D. Myers.